get on the grass. Speedway bikes and sidecars can clearly handle it a lot better, as we've seen in the programme already. Getting near the final qualifying stages now of the Autophone Grasstrack Championships, and we'll return to commentator Barry Nutley in Kent.
Couldn't be closer at the top of the table. Steve Schofield just has that 2-point advantage over Hans Nielsen. Trevor Banks jointly in second place, and Steve Schofield goes in this race. Will we see another maximum from the Mitcham flyer, 5'3"? There's nothing of him, but an extremely modest man, a very accomplished rider, 6 times British champion, has really awed everybody here today with his devastating speed and his machine control under extremely difficult conditions. Schofield riding number 1, 10 points here for the asking, which will take him even further away from the chasing Hans Nielsen. And the top 8 riders at the end of leg 4 will go into the grand final. The next 8 will go into the B final. So a tremendous amount of action left in store for us here as the top 16 goes through. There's the lineup. Dribble the Czech is in there too. That'll be interesting. Thierry Hilaire, the Frenchman, already with a win under his belt today, is in there as well. But Schofield will need the gate. Will he get the start he needs? The tape has gone, and little Steve Schofield, and does his weight, and you have to ask the question, does his weight give him an advantage, or rather his lack of weight, because his machine fairly punched its way out of the gate, away from the tapes, and leapt him into the lead, because he's leading yet again. Steve Schofield from Mitcham in Surrey, showing them all the way around this Collier Street circuit. He's had the dust, he's had the mud, he's had people coming at him from all sides, but he's beaten them back and stolen every single race he's ridden in so far, and he's doing it again. Schofield leads. In second place, it's number 25, Rob Price. So a good ride by Rob Price so far in pursuit of Schofield. He's coming under pressure from Hilaire, the Frenchman. Thierry Hilaire is right in there. Schofield. Second place man, Rob Price. Third and fourth having a tussle royal. I'll get them as they come round. And it's number 23. Looks like number 23 to me, or could be 24. It's almost impossible to see now because the numbers are obscured. But no mistaking the leader. It's number 1, clean and immaculate. He's had no mud thrown at him. Steve Schofield powering onto the checkered flag. Delighted with the win, Steve. A tremendous effort. 25 in second place. And in third place, to be confirmed, we couldn't get the number, but no question that Price was second. Schofield took the honours. Superb win for Steve Schofield. And the result. Steve Schofield took the win, Rob Price in second, and Vincent Kinchin, the local lad, in third place. A good ride for Vincent. Going into the fourth leg, Hans Nielsen and Trevor Banks were joint second on 28 points, only 2 behind series leader Schofield, and they both go in this one. Nielsen number 3, Banks number 4. Hans Nielsen has already demonstrated that he's less than happy with the mud. Trevor Banks has already demonstrated that he's more than happy with the mud. Which of them will come out of this one as winners, if either of them, because young Neville Tatum is also in there, and he is a force to be reckoned with. Tatum riding number 150. Nielsen, 2 times world speedway champion, the Flying Dane, and the Danes really are on top of the sideways world. And I say sideways world because they go around this circuit more sideways than they do in a straight line. Can Nielsen put it over Trevor Banks? A problem at the back of the grid there. Will that rider be allowed to start? In fact, if his machine starts, we're now down to 7 riders making their way onto the line. Number 3 in the middle of your picture, Hans Nielsen. Number 17 next to him, Mike Beaumont, who fell in a spectacular fashion earlier today, but is apparently none the worse for his experience. Number 4 there, Trevor Banks, starting right next to the starter. And if anything, and these are flyaway tapes, Banks will see the little bit of mechanism move that releases the tapes and could give him the edge. If I were in that position, I think I would drop the clutch the moment the piece of metal moved, and I think Banks will have that one well and truly sussed. Trevor Banks now twitching the throttle, easing the clutch, feathering it. It's beginning to bite. The starter's flag is down. The taper's gone. It's all about Nielsen and Banks, and right through on the inside, 150 Neville Tatum. Number 150 Neville Tatum is now down in second because Banks took the lead. Trevor Banks thundering round to complete the first lap. Trevor Banks. Neville Tatum. So where's Hans Nielsen? Where's number 3 Nielsen? He's not in the first 2. Still no Nielsen. Here's your race leader, number 4 Trevor Banks. Hans Nielsen nowhere in the top bunch at the moment. There he is. There's Hans Nielsen right down in 5th place. That's a disaster. Bad luck for Nielsen. Trevor Banks storming on his way. So Hans not repeating the performance of his earlier outings where he took the wins. In 3rd place, it's number 11, Grant Faulkner, the man from Malton in Yorkshire. 20 miles from York he lives, Grant Faulkner. Caught a boat from Belgium at 11 o'clock last night to get here, drove overnight, was unloading his van at 10 this morning, having driven right through the night from an international meeting where he qualified for the European Championship next weekend in Holland. So the first 3, Banks, Faulkner narrowly second, and young Tatum down there in 3rd. Faulkner almost caught Trevor Banks on the line. He hit form in the closing stages. Trevor Banks, the winner. Grant Faulkner second, but only just. And Neville Tatum started well, but still got 3rd. Race 3, leg 4. And this is young Mark Lorham's chance. Number 6 there, Mark Lorham. It's his opportunity to move ahead of Hans Nielsen in the point standings because he's in 4th place on 24. Nielsen has not had a good ride, so if Lorham can deliver the goods in this one, he could well go ahead of the former World Speedway champion, and that will be a tremendous fillip for his confidence. Only 18 years of age, already being tipped as a long track specialist and the brilliant new name in British Speedway. He's riding now full-time for Ipswich. 18 years of age, Mark Lorham. There he is, number 6, on the Godden from Maidstone in Kent. He started his career in the schoolboys, has had a good number of years' experience under his belt at the tender age of 18, so this is his opportunity. This really will go all the way down to the wire, this race. Joachim Reitzel is also in there from Germany. Gerard Koch, the Dutchman, too. Number 21 nudges in front. Andy Riley, our racing gamekeeper from Lymm in Cheshire. Andy Riley really leading that bunch round there. A tremendous fight going on, but sneaking through the inside. In the lead now, number 10. Clayton Williams from Dymock in Gloucestershire on the cross. So Clayton Williams, no stranger to Grasstrack, a lot of experience, having ridden in Australia, European champion in 1985. Now looks as though he might be losing the lead in this race because there's a fight going on from Mark Lorham, number 6. The young man we tipped on the start line. He's got a wild, flamboyant style. He throws it in sideways, puts the power on, pulling off a rip-off now, but he's breathing down the neck of Clayton, and he's going around the outside. Clayton Williams having to give best to this youngster. Nothing he can do about it. Lorham fighting all the way. The last lap flag out. Clayton Williams in second. In 3rd place, number 21, it's Riley. But young Mark Lorham, he obviously saw the advantage. He knew that if he could bring home 10 in this one, he'll move ahead of Hans Nielsen, and he will certainly go into the final unless something dramatic befalls him in the dying laps or the dying yards of this last lap. The checkered flag is out. Number 6, Mark Lorham. He fought, he earned it, and he won it. And number 5 gets 3rd, Peter Reid. A magnificent performance from the youngster. One of the best races we've seen here this afternoon. He worked hard. Clayton Williams thought it was his for the asking. Lorham got it. Williams had to settle for second, and Peter Reid brought up the top 3. This is how Lorham did it. He worked hard, came at the outside, he threw a dummy. Clayton Williams thought he was going through the inside, but not so. He was on power, he went the long way round. Williams had no answer for it at all. Once the youngster got his nose ahead, there was no stopping him. unbeaten in the championship so far. Steve Smith sitting on a maximum 21 points. He comes to the line for this next race, as does Russell Ing, sitting on 19 in second place. So a point or two there for the asking for Russell Ing, if he can do anything about Steve Smith. And I have to say that the way Smith has ridden today, and in particular the way that Godden V-twin delivers the power, I have my doubts. But if anyone can do it, Russell Ing is the man to do it. There is no one out there more determined. Sidecar's leg 4 into the final seconds. The tape has gone. Russell Ing moving away on the left-hand side, not a very good start, but Steve Smith in front. Riding with our on-bike camera now, seemingly at the back of the pack, number 24, Rob Wilson, Kevin Simmons. And Russell Ing is out. The hand has gone up. Russell Ing has retired on the top bend of the circuit. So Russell Ing, there he is. He has broken down. Russell Ing has gone. So now Steve Smith has this one all to himself, unless the fighting pack behind him. And Ken Lane, number 7. Ken Lane and Eddie Elvis are in second place and going well. On the Kawasaki from Fordingbridge in Hampshire, Ken Lane, a haulage contractor. Ridden scrambling motocross in his time, but now has settled for the Grasstrack and has ridden very consistently in Southern Centre events. But this man, your leader, number 2, Steve Smith, John Mitten. Very professional, very well turned out. Sponsored by Bailey Brothers, a local firm who have drain cleaning as part of their operation, would you believe? But who cares where the money comes from, as long as it promotes the company and keeps these outfits going. The cost of running a Grasstrack outfit is enormous. The spares, the transporting cost, the last lap flag is out, but still, and our camera bike running well, the passenger working hard. The speed round this Collier Street boarded circuit, unbelievably quick. It's drying out now. They're on their last lap. And our cameraman is sitting there in third. Rob Wilson and Kevin Simmons on their V-twin Godden from Staplehurst in third place and going well, and closing now on Ken Lane. They are closing on Ken Lane, but this is our leader, having it all his own way. The battle now for second place. Ken Lane goes wide, but he hangs on to second. And Rob Wilson comes over in third. So no real trouble there for Steve Smith and John Mitten. Once Russell Ing went, and he will be upset about that, they had it all their own way. Confirmation of the top 3. Smith the winner, Lane in second, and Rob Wilson a very creditable third place. A reminder of those positions coming into leg 4 of the Sidecar. Steve Smith has already added to that tally. He's had a win, so now it's all about Blewett and Misa, and they both go in this next race. And Blewett riding number 3, Misa riding number 51. Into the seconds, they've gone, the tape has gone, everybody's off the line, the sun now drying the circuit noticeably, and Misa and Blewett neck and neck into the first turn. Blewett on the outside, Misa on the inside. Misa shuts him out, drifts wide. These two really having a battle royal now. Alan Blewett and John Blewett on their 918 Boss from Darlington, County Durham. They're in second place at the moment and pushing hard, because the race leader, number 51, Roger Misa. Roger Misa, the Sidecar wheel kicked in the air there. But the Blewetts, father and son team in second and going well. Closing again on Roger Misa. Having a look at the outside, Misa staying tight. The power of that V4 Honda keeping him driving out of the turns and keeping him just 1, 2, 3, 4 machine lengths ahead of the second place Blewett crew. And again over the start-finish line, Misa. Blewett now threatening, but looking as though he's going to lose that second place, because there's a new challenger, a new name in the frame, and it's Mick Baxter, number 88, in third place. And a passenger missing. Baxter's passenger has gone. 88 Baxter, who was in third, has lost his passenger. The red flag is being shown at the start area. The red flag is out, and the race has been stopped. Baxter lost his passenger. A little bit shaken, but he's about to get up on his feet. Passenger up on his feet, apparently no problem. A bit of a nasty moment there, but let's see just how that happened. Baxter closing in now, third place, and trying really hard, an enormous bump, and that's how it happened. The machine bucked in the air, and the passenger literally was discarded from the right-hand side. All's well that ends well. Foreman builder Danny Tully back in the chair of Mike Baxter's Godden, shaken but not stirred, ready for the rerun. Meeser's there, 51, and Baxter rocketed away as if to make amends for that little hiccup where they stopped the previous race because Danny Tully came adrift. So Mike Baxter now in second place. But it looks to me as though Alan Blewett is leading the charge this time. Alan Blewett, number 3, Baxter still in second, Meeser is there in third. But a good ride by Alan Blewett, number 3. John Blewett there with him doing his bit on their FZR Yamaha from Darlington, County Durham. Meeser's down in third. Mike Baxter from Bromley in Kent, 15 years of sidecar experience behind him. Captain of the Hackney Kestrels sidecar speedway team. Going well in second place, not in the least bit deterred by losing his passenger in the previous race. He works for a local Saab dealer in Welling when he's not racing Grasstrack, but he's doing a good performance here, and if he works as well as he rides a bike, then they are very fortunate indeed, because he's closing on the number 3, Alan Blewett, our race leader. Blewett went very wide there, almost up against the famous white boards of the Collier Street circuit. And just look how close Baxter is, coming up towards the last lap flag. Baxter and Blewett just ahead of him. Nothing between these two. 1 lap to do. Can he do it? 88, Mike Baxter, Danny Tully. Danny Tully there fell very heavily, but no problem. There'll be a bit of dialogue tonight because they only live one house apart from each other, next door but one, these two. So over a pint or two tonight, they'll be discussing this episode. But the checkered flag now coming out. Checkered flag ready for Blewett. Baxter gets second, and Roger Meeser has to be content with third in the rerun. A disappointment for Roger Meeser, but what a scintillating start-to-finish victory for number 3, Alan Blewett. And in second place, Mick Baxter, hard-fought and well-ridden. Roger Meeser was third. The final heat of leg 4. Richard Piggott, of course, the man who's really been going well. And the bottom of your picture there, a reserve number 12, Tim Bennett. He's a replacement. Can he do any good? We shall see. Too late, of course, for him to score any points and have a meaningful tally at the end of the day. But, of course, he will be trying. And Bennett in the lineup there as they go. Piggott in the middle of your picture in blue. Nudges into the lead, and nudges is the word because he's under pressure from Martin Baker, number 10. Martin Baker right with him and going the long way round Baker, and it is a long way round, but he's really with Piggott almost side by side, and nothing between the first 3 now as they come round on their second lap. Piggott, Baker locks it up sideways. 151, Mick Cameron on the inside. Baker lost the edge there, left the door open for Cameron, who almost did something about it, but not quite. Cameron is now poised, but Sid Piggott, number 92, scorching away yet again with this one, but not coasting home, because that second and third place crew closing on him all the time. Piggott from Baker. Mark Edwards as well in there on the sidecar. Martin Baker, Mark Edwards, number 10, from Froome in Somerset, giving Richard Piggott a hard time. Sid Piggott, number 92, in the blue. 1, 2, 3, there they are, race leader, second place. A glorious sunny afternoon now. The clouds have gone, the rain's gone, the surface of the circuit in prime condition. On their last lap, the yellow flag is out. 1 lap to go for Sid Piggott. He will certainly go through to the grand final, and it's sudden death in the grand final. Points don't count. It's who gets the drop from the tapes to the flag, and it's all a question of getting out of the gate. Waiting now for the race leader. Sid Piggott it is so far. In second place, 151. It looks as though Piggott gets it. 151, Cameron goes over in second. And in third place, number 77, Kevin and Mark Lapham. So what happened to number 10? We don't know. He's coasting the Norwich Westlake now over the line to get the finish. They pushed it in. They had a failure. There they are. Bad news for them. They were riding well in second place, but the top 3. Piggott, another superb victory for him, gets the maximum. Cameron in second, and a surprise third for Kevin Lappin. He was given it on a plate when number 10 retired.